Number 6! A classic franchise reimagined by someone else. Again, no tagbacks. Number 6 is Gears of War Judgment.
But Stryker, this is my favorite game in the series. I masturbate to it at least once a week.
Once a week?
Okay. I masturbate to it once every other month, but that's still good considering it came out in 2013.
Well, little Billy, I don't. This would be the last Gears of War game that People Can Fly would ever work on, and for good reason. This is easily the weakest version of a Gears of War game to date. After Judgment came out, Microsoft acquired the Gears of War license in 2014, giving them full control of the series from then on. To me, the game fell short in nearly every category compared to previous installments. The story was completely disappointing. You switched weapons with the Y button instead of the tried and true D-pad like in every other game of the series. You could only carry 2 main weapons, and every enemy encounter was now based on earning a 3-star ranking, and more. The game starts with our heroes already having been arrested and being put immediately on trial for their actions. Basically, they see a new enemy locust, General Karn, that absolutely must be taken out, so Cadet Sophia contacts Colonel Loomis and suggests that they use the very powerful light mass missile, but the Colonel advises against it. So this squad decides to activate the missile themselves anyway. Some stuff happens, Colonel Loomis orders them to not use the missile or face execution, and Lieutenant Baird fires the missile anyway, and it completely destroys the Museum of Military Glory. The story is trying to make our heroes justified for their actions, but in real life, you can kinda understand the other side. They disobeyed a direct order, and they deliberately used a weapon of mass destruction that they didn't have authorization for, and completely destroyed a museum. But just before the verdict comes down, the enemy attacks because they had to make this impromptu assembly near a war zone, so how convenient. The whole courtroom framing device just seems to be kind of convoluted and not really thought out. Like it came from a writer that had no military background themselves, but watched enough movies to think that they could design an interesting courtroom drama in the middle of an action game. In the end, there really isn't any consequences either.
I'm dropping the charges, but you'll never be an officer again.
Yeah, why should all these brains be wasted on an officer? Sir.
There are a few interesting new weapons like the tripwire crossbow and a double-barrel shotgun, but the big change to combat is that every encounter is now scored on a 3-star basis. So now, during all combat encounters, you constantly have this meter that's filling up as you get points awarded toward reaching the next star. And even though the action can get quite intense, every encounter ends with all your points being tallied up, and then you're rewarded the resulting number of stars. A menu drops down in front of you and everything, and it really just ruins the pacing and the intensity of the combat when it takes 5 to 10 seconds to stop everything and count how many headshots and executions you had. The multiplayer modes themselves are disappointing overall, with only 5 maps at launch. The Overrun mode is a nice change of pace where you play as the Locust trying to kill a group of humans. All Locust players start off as low-tier creatures, but as they earn points, they can cash them in to become more deadly ones. It's really fun running around as a ticker and exploding at just the right moment to kill an isolated human. And it's an absolute blast to play as some of the higher tier creatures like the Corpser, Mauler, or Serapes. But the biggest disappointment is the way they go about their standard multiplayer. You don't play it with Cog versus Locust like every other game in the series. For some reason, they didn't bother giving the other human players Locust characters to play as. That's right. All players pick their favorite Cog human and shoot each other to pieces and blow each other's heads off. It feels weird shooting other humans in Gears multiplayer while playing as the humans. There also are no executions. That's right, the staple of the franchise is completely gone in multiplayer. You don't even down enemies at all, they just fall over dead. There are also only 9 COG characters to play as in multiplayer, even with the DLC, which is a very limited roster. It plays fine, but it's just a weird choice, and honestly, I didn't play that much standard multiplayer when the game first came out for that reason.
No wonder I was supposed to keep an eye on you.
On me? For what?
I guess they thought you might try to steal our military technology. Which you did.
Illegally access military technology. There's a difference.
Gears of War Judgment came out as a full-price AAA title. I remember noticing 3 months after launch that the multiplayer was already seeing low numbers. Finding full matches became considerably harder as the months went on. But I should have known better than to buy a game from a respected franchise, but was being developed by a different studio. Gears of War Judgment is still the only Gears game to date that I regret buying. Check back here for a new video every other day until the end of time. No, wait, that's not good. There's no way I can keep that up. You guys wanted something fresh and new to hear, right? That's what happens. This is a total screw up. This should not air on YouTube whatsoever. This is a lie. There's no way I can keep up that kind of workload until the end of time. That's just crazy. I would die first. Anyway, thanks for watching.